Anyway, I just finished recording my food addiction course, talking about the spiritual cause of food addiction. And I felt like I needed to do a video on my experience with food addiction and how I've also overcome food addiction. And yes, so the course that I did was the spiritual cause of food addiction. You lot know that I'm a Christian, and being spiritual is so important, and everything happens in the spiritual realm. We are all human beings. We're all spiritual beings, and we're all having a human experience. And so if anything happens to us physically, it's already happened in the spiritual realm. So let's talk about my food addiction. Growing up, obviously, the nutrition side of things in my family wasn't the best. Like, we were constantly eating carbs a lot. 90% of Nigerian food is carbohydrate anyway. And so yeah, I was addicted to rice. But before I got addicted to rice, I used to have like constant dreams about myself eating rice a lot. And one of the signs of food addiction spiritually is eating in the dream. Okay. Now, I'm not going to focus so much about eating in the dream. You would need to buy my course on the spiritual cause of food addiction for me to explain to you about eating in a dream and why that is the root cause of food addiction. So if you want to know how eating in the dream is the root cause of food addiction, please click the link in the description box to my course, and you'll be able to find out the types of dreams that could cause food addiction. So anyway, I used to have dreams of myself eating rice quite a lot, but I didn't really take it seriously. I just thought, oh yeah, anyway, it's just rice. In reality, in real life, I was eating rice a lot, and I could eat about 5 plates of rice in one go, literally in one go. And I would get so drunk. Guys, people think that you only get drunk when you take alcohol or drugs or whatever. You can get drunk in food, okay? And for me, I would get drunk in rice, like drunk in rice. And so when I would get drunk in rice, obviously, in the medical terms, I would say, oh, you're insulin resistant, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, I was drunk, okay? And I would get so drunk that I would feel like my organs was about to burst. I would feel so sleepy. I would be dizzy. I would be dehydrated. I would need plenty of water. I wouldn't be able to move for the next 4 hours. I would be sleepy and dizzy at the same time. It was hard for me to go to the toilet and do the second stuff. And my stomach would be so bloated for days. Okay. And this was an everyday thing. Okay. Because when you're addicted, once you have a taste of what you're addicted to, that's it. You just keep going nonstop. And so one day I said to myself, I can't continue like this. Because when you're addicted to food, you spend a lot of money on food. When you're addicted to food, like, beautiful clothes don't look good on you, and it's hard to live a luxury lifestyle because most of your income is spent on food. Then your shape begins, like your body shape begins to look weird, like you don't even like it anymore. You wouldn't even like taking pictures of yourself anymore. And so I said to myself, this has to stop. This really has to stop. I can't continue like this. And the way my belly was going, the way my belly was looking, it was looking like I was 5 months pregnant when I wasn't pregnant at all. So it was really bad. So anyway, like I said, food addiction starts spiritually. So what I thought I needed to start exercising, deal with it physically, right? Exercising and all of that, but I wasn't changing anything about my nutrition. So obviously, if you're not changing anything about your nutrition, you can't see any difference, right? And it was hard for me to change my nutrition because, like I said, addiction is hard. Addiction, like, you cannot just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm not going to be addicted to you anymore, so problem solved. No, addiction don't work like that. It's a process, okay? It's a process, because it's a process for you to even get there. So it's going to be a process for you to get out of it. And so I then realized I had to deal with this spiritually. And there were times where I would go on my knees and I'll pray to God, like, Holy Spirit, what shall I do? How can I go about it? Because I can't, I don't know, this addiction, this love for rice is crazy. I don't know how to go about it. So what I would do would be, sometimes I would pray a few psalms in a bottle of water. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will give me a few psalms to pray in a bottle of water. And then what would happen is, in the midnight, the Holy Spirit would show me certain foods that I need to stay away from. And the Holy Spirit will also show me certain foods that I need to keep eating. Okay. I go in more depth with this in my course. Okay, the course is called The Spiritual Cause of Food Addiction. So you'll find more of this information in my course. So when the Holy Spirit began to show me foods that I need to stay away from and foods that was causing problems, then I had to start eating the foods that the Holy Spirit would show me. So one of the things that the Holy Spirit had told me was that you need to be eating a lot of vegetables. A lot. One of the things about food addiction, when you're addicted to food, yeah, you don't eat vegetables. 90% of your food is carbs. That's one of the signs that you know you've got food addiction. You don't like vegetables. You don't eat vegetables. You just find them like boring, like the most boringest thing that you could ever eat. That's one of the signs you got food addiction. Or maybe you just love to snack all day nonstop. Like from early in the morning until late at night, you're just snacking all day. That's still food addiction. So when the Holy Spirit had told me that, look, you need to eat lots and lots and lots of vegetables, I started off with one vegetable per day. And then after a while, I did 2 vegetables per day. And what I noticed was that my bowel movement had changed. I didn't really desire rice like I used to, because the thing about vegetables, when you eat a lot of vegetables, your desire for carbs tend to go down. It's not high anymore. And you can't even be addicted to vegetables. That's the craziest part. You can't be addicted to vegetables like before. And you have to remember that vegetables is the very first food that God had given to us, given to our ancestors over 2,000 years ago. So that is the main food that our body needs, is vegetables, right? But like I said, if you have food addiction going on, you don't really eat them. So spiritually, one of the ways to overcome food addiction is to start implementing eating vegetables more often. When you start eating more and more vegetables, your desire for certain foods will come down. Because believe me when I tell you, we are spiritual beings. There are some foods that you are not supposed to eat for your own destiny. What my destiny or my spiritual being can eat or can take, yours might not take it. And that's what makes us all different. Okay, even though we are all human beings, like for example, a banana is a good fruit. But the Holy Spirit might tell you stay away from banana. Whereas for me, banana might be okay. So it's very important for you to listen to what the Holy Spirit is telling you, because the Holy Spirit will tell you foods that you should stay away from and the foods that you should eat. And if you're listening to the Holy Spirit, then you'll be able to overcome the food addiction. The spiritual cause behind food addiction is quite something that I'd have to explain in detail, but I've explained it in detail in my course. So if you get that course of spiritual cause of food addiction, you will get more information on why people get attacked to be addicted to food spiritually. There's a purpose for that, okay? And if you get the course, you'll know why. But I don't want to go into all of that in this video. In this video, it's just about my experience. So When I started listening to the Holy Spirit on the types of food that I should be eating, and I started implementing that, slowly but surely, my food addiction was gone. I no longer see food as something that I have a relationship with. You're not supposed to have a relationship with food. How do you know you've got a relationship with food? When you're down, you eat. When you're in love, you eat more. When you're happily married, you're eating more. When you want something, you reward yourself with food. When you're sad, you use food to comfort you. When you're depressed, you use food to comfort you. All this is bad. We're not supposed to have a relationship with food. We're supposed to have a relationship with human beings, not food. Because when you have a relationship with food, you're going to end up eating what you're not supposed to eat. And 90% of it is going to be sugar. I don't know anyone who's depressed and they start eating carrots, or anyone who's happily married and in love and they want to dine and they start eating broccoli. Like, nah, you're going to ask for dessert or something sweet. So yeah, food is not something that we're supposed to have a relationship with. Food is medicine. So once you stop being addicted to food, you're going to see food as medicine, and then you're going to be very selective on the types of food that you eat once you start seeing it as medicine. For me, I hate medication. I hate taking tablets. I hate going to the GP. I hate going to the doctors. So I'm constantly very conscious of making sure that whatever food I'm eating is going to do some type of healing in my organs. So I always make sure that I'm always eating green vegetables regularly, because the green vegetable, or the green family as I would say it, has a lot of healing properties that my body needs. Do you know what I mean? So that is literally my little story of how I overcome food addiction. If you buy my course on the spiritual cause of food addiction, I give you all a solution on how to overcome it. I didn't really give you guys a solution in this video because I just want to talk about my experience, and I've gone in depth with the solution in that course. So make sure you do get that course. Also in that course, there's a couple of experience in my family from people who've had food addiction, my brother specifically as well, and how he overcame it as well, because it happens differently for different people and the solution will always be the same, but how people go about it would be different. Okay, remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So anytime something happens to us, we have to always tackle it in the spiritual realm first. If you know me and all my spiritual videos on this channel, I always say it, you have to tackle the spiritual side of things first before the physical. But obviously you do what you're supposed to do physically, which is visit the doctor, take medication if you need to, eat healthy, all of that. So make sure you do get the course, get your hands on it. If you're having any issues with buying my course, please let me know. If there's any issues playing it or downloading it, don't be afraid to let me know. I would leave my email in the description box. So that's it for this video. Hope you all have a good time, and I'll see you guys next time.